Hey guys, actually, I think I'm going to change my clothes between, so it doesn't look like we've recorded it. This
isn't Chippendales.
Yeah, speak for yourself. You don't know what I do on the weekends. This is Chris from DSX Machina, and I'm with
Dave from Rampant Wolf Games.
All right, and we are here to talk about top 5 games, top 5 franchises that should have games. So these are games that either, and these are games that either there's no board games at all, and
they need a good one.
Or they need a good one. This one is an easy one.
This was.
But organizing it was different, and I had to kick some ones off. And I don't think any of my choices are controversial. And I also think that every one of these is going to be. My number one has a story.
My number one will never.
Oh, nice. I like that. All right.
Sad, though.
Yeah, so these are franchises, intellectual properties, popular media that should be. Now, this is not historical. This is not historical. I didn't pick anything historical. These are movie, TV, comic franchises.
Correct.
So I didn't pick anything like, I want a game about,
the 18 Years War.
Yeah, exactly. I want the War of the Roses, the board game. No, these are. Well, that's a good top 5 list. Like events of history, like historical events that should be made into board games.
Like burning down the White House?
Only Canadians will like that one. All right, so number 5, let's go with the list. And finally, he breaks the streak, like 6 games in a row. We literally all day, not a single one.
You realize when it comes down to number 1, I'm going to lose. All right. So, number 5.
Number 5. It's weird. I should be speaking, and I don't know why I shouldn't be speaking. It's so strange. I wonder why this is.
Tech War.
Holy shit. Holy shit. What the... Where did you pull that one out? Tech War?
Yep.
Tech War. I'm William Shatner, and this is a book that I'm going to write by narrating into a microphone and then paying someone to type it out for me. I've seen all the Tech Wars.
I love Tech War.
Tech War. I thought it was weird that they killed off the female character in the first one and kind of brought her back semi.
Yeah, so just semi brought her back, yeah. Yeah. So there's not much to say other than Tech War.
Nobody watching this knows what we're talking about. Nobody. Hell, I'm shocked that you know about it, because that's an old show.
I have the DVDs. I actually bought them recently.
Greg Evigan. This was Greg Evigan. Did way before he got, like, after he did something successful, then he did this, then he became successful again, and now no one cares. Greg Evigan starred in a cyberpunk science fiction TV show based on a book series that was written by William Shatner. Mm-hmm. He wrote and directed the first movie.
And he was also in the series.
He was in the series as a nefarious character and so forth. It is a cyberpunk story written by somebody who doesn't fully understand the cyberpunk genre and writes a decent novel that's good for people who think William Gibson is too complex for them.
Fair enough.
I read at least 3 of the books. I didn't read them all. I did watch all the movies, though.
Yeah.
What kind of game would you make out of that, though?
I think it'd be a role-playing game.
All of mine, I have imagined the game.
Role-playing game, I think.
But that's not really tabletop. I was trying to push more tabletop. Because there are role-playing game versions of what I have listed. I just don't have tabletop versions.
A tabletop version of it would be maybe a hidden movement.
I love the pull, the deep cut you did, bringing the Tech War in there. The term deep cut was, I don't know who coined it. I just know that I learned it from Kevin Smith and Mark Bernard. And if you dive into some deep reference, it's a deep cut. And I've been known for my deep cuts. But wow. Tech War. my number 5 isn't close to being that subtle. Mine is going to be there's a theme coming. Mine is Appleseed. I love anime.
Okay.
Anime is huge, and the problem with the games right now that the people who are looking for franchises are tapping franchises that are popular culture. They're popular right now.
Like Ruby.
Like Ruby, like Attack on Titan, and they make games of that. But they don't realize that there's huge nostalgia. I mean, they just did a Big Trouble in Little China. They just did they had 2 Thing games.
Vampire Hunter D would be nice.
Yeah, that's not on my list. I picked Appleseed because miniature makers have been ripping off Shiro's designs for that series since it came out. Right? Infinity has an entire faction of guys that are ripping off that. It is one of it. There are hundreds of toys around Japan that look like the Landmates and various other models. This is obviously probably a miniature based game. Almost everyone I have here I've designed it to be cooperative on this list, so I think that would be a perfect team based cooperative game. You are part of the eSWAT team. And you play as Dunyan or Biaros, and it's cyberpunk without net running, but it's got the idea of fighting across the terrorists that are attacking the Eden City, kind of is Eden or whatever, or Avalon, can't remember what it's called, but it's that kind of clean aesthetic. You show the models, it will fund instantly. I will guarantee this whole list are ones like, what is wrong with you people? There must be a legal problem. And the answer to the question is yes, it is legal. Almost every anime made, with a few exceptions, have huge legal wrangles. In Japan, they make it all work. You move it outside of Japan, it's a nightmare. I know this because I've talked to a lot of people that have done role-playing games, tried to do role-playing games based on anime. The reason why there's no Ghost in the Shell role-playing game is because too many people own different rights. It is a legal nightmare to secure the rights to one IP because you have to touch on several people. You want to buy the rights to a movie, say Star Wars. You literally call one guy, you pay a fee, and you secure the rights to that franchise for that purpose.
Well, you used to.
Yeah, no, there's a person at Disney. You call Disney up. You pay one guy. You call a lawyer at Disney, and you make it work. If you wanted to secure the rights of a single title in Japan, it is a nightmare because you have to call 5 or 6 people and secure different rights from different people. You don't have to call up. You don't have to call up. Oh God, I'm blanking on. I want to say Masumini Shiro. It is Masumini Shiro. Sorry. For Appleseed, you can't just call him. You think you would, but you don't. Appleseed, you might be able to manage, but there are other franchises he's connected to where it's a nightmare. So that's my number 5 pick of Appleseed.
Okay. Number 4.
Number 4
is, for me, again, this is I'm pretty sure there are ones out there, but I just want a good one. And I know people who are watching this one, especially if it's any of my friends, are going to be like, oh, you just wanted a miniatures one. Yeah, you're right. I want a miniatures one, but I want good miniatures.
Well, that's the whole thing about Appleseed, because I want those miniatures.
Transformers.
It's weird we don't have a Transformers.
I know, right?
What? I almost put that on my list.
It was just the other day I was, boop, I'm just like, yeah, why don't we have a Transformer?
Yeah. The funny thing is,
I think it's some of the same problems.
it's like there's a tabletop game that got kickstarted, and it was a very small campaign many years ago. That the whole concept was you build mechs out of Lego. It just gave you the rules, and you build the mechs out of Lego. You could sell the toys.
Yeah.
And just say, here's a tabletop game for the toys.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
On Cybertron. Like the games. War for Cybertron, Battle of Cybertron, those games. Tabletop based on that specific IP.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
I don't know why we
quite
don't
literally
have...
is cash in the barrel head. I don't know why I won't.
Yeah. So, that was my number 4.
Yeah.
Transformers.
That's an easy one. Number 4 is one that I think is days away from somebody realizing there's an entry for a 2018 one There's no information other than the fact that there's supposed to be a game that was supposed to get announced in 2018. We're kind of running late, folks. That's a game based on Dread.
Yep.
There's two variations of this. One, it's one against all. One person's Dread, and everyone else is everyone trying to kill Dread. So it's like it's like Fury of Dracula, except Dracula ain't hiding. He's just impossible to kill.
I don't break the law. I am the law. That version, or the Carl Urban one.
No, just I mean, going old school. I'm going with the original Shock comic and all the related franchises.
I don't break the law. I am the law.
Yeah, not Stallone.
Okay.
Closer to the Urban thing, but once again, because the Carl Urban film is more faithful, I'm going towards the faithful.
Yeah, because he never took his helmet off.
Exactly. So he never takes his helmet off. So the idea, the fact that someone who's read, there's a lot of weirdness in Dread. Like the two films have always been very low key, but remember, it deals with alternate realities, the underworld, like literally like the demonic underworld, demons show up and all this stuff. So Dread gets in some weird places. And in the same way, the fact that the Hellboy board game is based directly off of the artwork, not based off of the movie franchise. I base it more off of get miniatures for that. So it's a one versus all, or it's a cooperative one where everyone plays soldiers, and there's no one person that's Dread. There's tons of protagonist players that's not Dread. Tons of judges.
Yeah.
Right? Just grab a bunch of judges, not even have Dread, but one person gets, I get to be Dread. It's like everyone wants to be Dread. So make it so it's like Dread isn't there, it's just judges. Right? There is a TV series coming out, which is in the Dread franchise.
What about build your own Dread? So you can build your own Dread, so you can make your own self as a
well, I think...
Or sorry, judge, sorry. You build your own judge, sorry.
You basically create your own judge. That's fine. It's like literally build your own judge out of rules, and then you have a miniature that's representing you, and then you do a cooperative game where you're doing like the Dread movie when you're moving through areas, cleaning out bad guys.
Yeah.
So that is my number 4 pick. Another game that would Appleseed and Dread, they're $1 million Kickstarters waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's my number 4 pick, Dread.
So my number 3, it'll be a quick one because we probably would just debate this one to death, but we'll just get through it quick, which is Robotech. Needs a good game.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to be said.
That was going to be on my list as well.
Yep.
I decided not to just because the other ones I have either don't have franchises at all or have or kind of do thematically. But Robotech, yeah.
Yeah.
We almost had one, and then we didn't. And now we have bad ones. I would love a Zentradi against RDF combat system. A cooperative variation of that as well. Why not, Big spaceship combat like X-Wing. Oh, God. I don't play that game. I think I would buy that one. I don't play X-Wing, but I would buy a Robotech version of that one.
I know.
Oh, God. What is this?
We're just going to take a moment to...
Someone's going to watch this video and go, call up their lawyer and go buy these franchises.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, my number 3 is one that's, once again, I've actually already mentioned it. It's probably never going to happen because of legal issues. I know that because I have created a role-playing game for this. I actually have a homebrew website, which is still up there, serenadawn.com. Serenadawn, named after a space station in Star Frontiers, where I've made a whole bunch of old homebrew games. This is where I got started before I became a professional game designer. And the last game I made for that website before I moved over to go professional was a role-playing game based on Ghost in the Shell. And Ghost in the Shell is, I think... It's popular. We just had a feature film. So it is, unlike Appleseed, it is modern. It is part of pop culture. It is heavy cyberpunk with a huge emphasis on net running and hacking. But the cool thing about a Ghost in the Shell, once again, envision completely cooperative. There's, unlike the one that you mentioned, which has established villains, there are no established villains in Ghost in the Shell. There's established protagonists only. They've always had revolving bad guys. So this would most certainly be a Section 9. Bateau, not the old man, but Saito, Togasa, most certainly. And they all have character cards, and they're going in on a mission.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that, unlike other ones, you can directly hack anything on the board.
Yeah.
You want to hack the cameras. You want to hack the characters. Take over and hijack and look through somebody else. Being able to constantly tweak. There is a PlayStation 2 game. A fantastic and underappreciated PlayStation 2 game. For Ghost in the Shell. And I say underappreciated. It got middling reviews. But then after a while, I owned it. I sold it. Kind of regret it. But it goes for Prime now because it's such a valuable game. It's actually a really good game. And you could hack anybody. You could hack the cameras. You can hack people and have them shoot other people. It is such an open concept. And I love the idea of putting stations down and then characters going about using their abilities. Togusa is a good shot, but Bateau is just a man who can strong arm because he's just so tough.
Yeah.
Matoka can go in and hack things. Everyone has unique abilities. Saito is a sniper. So it's just... It'll work. Mm-hmm. It'll work. It's not going to be a miniature heavy game because you could go heavy miniatures. Then you got to put the Tachikomas in because they're adorable. They're not going to be. It's not going to sell on the miniatures as much as Appleseed will.
Yeah.
But that still being said, I think Ghost in the Shell will probably do better. So that's my number 3 pick. Ghost in the Shell, pure hacking all the way around. Like, I don't have line of sight on this guy. Oh, I can hack this camera because I know the camera's there in space. I can see that guy and I can hack him remotely, take him over, and have him shoot his buddy. Ghost in the Shell, guys. It can happen. That's my number 3 pick.
All right. So, my number 2 pick has board games, but it doesn't have the board games I want or is considered good.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. The reimagined version, not the old one.
Dude, isn't one of the most famous trader games in history a BSG game?
It is.
You don't like it?
No. I own it. It's over there.
Wow. I do believe DTT just did a list that got posted just last week where they mentioned like that game was like was someone's number 1. Huh. What is your problem with the BSG game? Beyond the fact that I dislike the new relaunch BSG immensely. Bring it on, haters. I think it's a crappy show. It has astounding special effects. It has amazing music. It's well directed. It's well
got great
acted,
characters.
And it has a philosophical flaw that permeates the entire series. You can't have a show. A show becomes predictable when you predict that the characters will always do something that is the most selfish and most destructive. It is not an unpredictable show when you can predict chaos. Yeah, I have severe issues with that show. Anyway, what's your problem with the game?
It's not the space combat, etc., and running from the Cylons. That's what I want. I want the space combat and running from the Cylons and trying to manage your fleet and keep the civilians alive.
My games don't have like hardly any entries at all. And yours, at least 2 of them so far, have had a couple of games. Mm-hmm. I wanted franchises like no one's touched. So yeah, wow, really?
Yep.
That's gonna be the controversial one.
That is.
Usually, yeah, that's really. So was that your?
I like to generate some controversy. Gets the debate going.
Yeah. Problem is, I don't have an opinion because I've never played that BSJ game, which is I know is kind of weird from people. It's a popular game, but I haven't played it. So that's me for. Neither have I. Yeah, the microphone caught that, right? You'd have to hit this little button here, and then I'm just gonna say this is what he said. Subtitle up, but you own the game. You haven't played it?
No, I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Number 2.
For you.
For me. This is the franchise you're thinking, oh, this exists. You're like, no, it doesn't. Like, oh, come on. There's a game. No, there isn't. There's games. I can name 3 games off the top of my head, which are like, that's kind of like that game, but it's not. That's Mad Max. Right? You got Wasteland Delivery Service, which is kind of like Mad Max.
That's a good one.
You have Saltlands, which is kind of like Mad Max. There's a game called Thunder Road or something that came out in the late 80s, which is kind of like Mad Max. Mm-hmm. But we don't actually have a Mad Max game.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a Mad Max game?
I'm guessing Mel Gibson.
It has nothing to do with Mel Gibson. Fury Road made $500 million without Mel Gibson.
Yeah, but
It shouldn't be that hard to acquire that franchise. Because here's the thing. You do a Mad Max. It doesn't matter if you take the Gibson era, which is still popular. Road Warrior is still clearly popular. Or you take the new relaunch with its bombastic, over-the-top kind of view. But here's the thing. Every version of these games so far have been heavily competitive. Right? Mm-hmm. They've also been the same game. Saltlands is you going out and scavenging and doing things. Wasteland Delivery Service, you're a guy on your own. You're going off and doing things in apocalypse. And there are other games that have done it. Thunder Road is completely competitive. You're just a bunch of cars going down the thing trying to kill each other. And yet, Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, and Fury Road almost have the exact same thematic run-through. There's a point, either the entire movie in Fury Road or the last acts in the other two films, where everybody is on a giant mobile fortress that are getting attacked by gangs. Road Warrior, the entire last act, a 15-minute action scene, this giant tanker truck is getting attacked by Lord Humongous.
Yeah.
In the second one, it was a train that was getting attacked by Tina Turner. Well, not Tina Turner, but the person she's playing. Auntie. And then Fury Road, the entire film, is this giant truck with water and milk and so forth being pursued because they want to get because
his wives and
when he gets his wives, God, why is his name blanking on me?
I don't know.
That's weird. Anyway, but Mad Max Fury Road, I would love a cooperative game where all the players are characters on this mobile fortress, a giant rig. And you just have to defend this rig against bandits that are constantly chasing. And you can drive the rig around. You can just destroy. You're blowing things up. Chain reactions. Just other giant fortresses coming alongside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And just beautiful car miniatures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 2 pick. Mad Max Cooperative.
Cool.
All right, so number 1.
And...
Jump the gun. Try it again. Ha! The streak's broken.
Streak is broken. Oh no, the streak is back again.
So here's the story. There are a couple games a long time ago. I think the last time there's one tabletop version of this game in the 80s, late 80s, maybe one in the 90s, and a few months ago, in April, a French company announced that they were going to do I think it's a one versus all game based on one of the films of the franchise. And massive legal problems arose. Plagiarism accusations. And the game vanished. I went looking up. This game vanished. And that's a franchise based around Alien.
Really?
So, Parker Brothers made a game, I think it was Parker Brothers, made a game based on Alien in 1978. Like right after the movie came out. It is... Look up the video on the playthrough of the Alien board game. It is weird.
Oh yeah, I do remember you telling me about this one now.
Then in the late 80s, a tabletop version game came out based on Aliens. Lightning, not Lightning Source, but Lightning Press, who made an Aliens RPG, an actual role-playing game, which is not very good. They made miniatures so you can play the game on tabletop. And then we had a couple of other ones. And then this year, a French company released an announcement that they were going to make a game based on the Alien franchise called Nostromo. Then, almost immediately, they got hit with plagiarism accusations from another French designer who had pitched them a Nostromo game several years earlier. And apparently, they just they kicked him to the curb and then ripped off his idea. Once it exploded and it got viral, everyone started talking about it and started going after them. They reached out to the designer and offered to give him based off of his game credit without any money or anything else, just that credit. And he said no. That was the last time we spoke of that, and that was the last time we heard about it. That was in May.
Yep.
And nothing has been said since. The company hasn't said anything. The designer hasn't said anything. There's been no legal updates, no updates on the game. I think it's dead.
Yeah.
But the point is, regardless of that, we do not have a board game based off of Alien. We don't have a board game based on Aliens. So we don't have a Aliens versus Colonial Marines miniature game.
But you kind of do with Nemesis. But yes, correct.
But
not the actual
Nemesis
IP.
is not the Alien IP, right?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
All we have is Alien Encounters. It's just a deck building game. We don't have a hidden movement game where it's 5 players trying to get to the Narcissus escape pod, and there's one alien hidden movement. Why is that not a thing yet? Seriously, I'm not a huge fan of hidden movement, but it seems like that is a game that you should have made, considering how popular Alien Isolation, the video game, is.
Yeah, and especially, because all of a sudden you're getting picked up, but it has player elimination.
Well, but the thing is that it's one of those things where...
Unless they become aliens as well, hunting them.
Yeah. So that one has player elimination. I didn't say these were 100% solid ideas, but the same idea, the fact that players have to get together, right? An alien may just simply stop a player, or you're resetting. You're playing with 4 people, and there's like 9 crew members. You're swapping crew members out, like Dead of Winter. Right? You're now playing Brett. Brett's dead. Okay, you're now playing Parker. Right? So there's variations around that, and the alien just has to simply stop them from getting to Narcissus. You have a round clock. The timer's going down. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Right? Aliens. Come on, Colonial Marines, aliens. It's Space Marines versus Tyranids. Just make it work. That's my number 1 pick. Cool. Alien/Aliens. And with a complete, I'm going to say this right now, I'm going to swear on a stack of carpet samples, don't you dare put Predators in it. I don't want an AVP game. I do not want an AVP game. I want an Alien or an Aliens game. I do not want an AVP game. I don't want you messing up my franchise with that garbage. Thank you.
What about the Prometheus?
No, they'll never make a Prometheus game. They'll make an Alien game. I have no problem with Prometheus, but Prometheus there's no board game in Prometheus. There's a board game in Alien.
Fair enough. My number 1, Babylon 5.
Oh! Oh, damn it! Yes! No, it had never happened.
Nope.
There's a Did you ever play the Babylon 5 CCG?
No.
I have it still.
You do?
I do. I love the fact they broke it in the core box.
Nice.
The game is broken in the core box. There's in my deck, I have a card. If I get it down on the table, I win the game in 5 turns. There's nothing you can do about it unless you win the game before me.
Nice.
Literally, I played the game once, and my friend's like, I'm like, what is that? But anyway, yeah. Miniature space combat, or even something that's a cooperative game set within the station.
Yep.
The station's under threat. You're moving characters around.
Yep. Babylon
Joe
5.
Michael Straczynski, make it happen. Find a way, because he owns that thing.
Oh yeah.
He owns that.
Yeah.
It's entirely his baby.
Yep.
That would be an easy franchise to find.
And with all the actors, moving on, as you would say, or passing on, it'd be nice homage.
Yeah.
It would be a nice...
Yeah. That'd be tough. There's actually 2 or 3 good ideas in there. I don't know which one I'd go for. I think I'd go for the... There's been too many tabletop games with combat. I think a combat game for B5 wouldn't work unless it was like hard science. Like, you move a ship, you're moving in that direction until you use thrusters to slow yourself down like that, because that's what Babylon 5 space combat was really realistic. So if they did that, I'd totally back that play. The other one would be a Babylon 5 space station where there's a crisis on the station and you're moving things and doing stuff.
Yeah. Or trying to the Shadow War. I mean, come on.
That would be the miniature one. Miniature one would be Shadow War.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5 Appleseed, number 4 Dread, 3 Ghost in the Shell, 2 Mad Max, 1 Alien.
So number 5, Tech Wars. Number 4, Transformers. Number 3, Robotech. Number 2, Battlestar Galactica. I just want a better game. And number 1, Babylon 5.
All right. I've been Chris.
And I've been Dave. Remember, the rules are just a suggestion. Play the game how you want.
No, play the game that we tell you to play.
Or that.